Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means, the other one's just along for the ride. Tyler, what up, big dog?
What is going on? We got a big stuff coming up. a first of sorts.
It's just big stuff. Yeah, this is kind of a mind twist too, the way we're recording this. You'll figure it out later. But we were just recording, we're doing some stuff for next week, and we're like, hey, let's do another one. And so we're releasing this now to kind of preview next week for us ourselves. And then the spring breakout roster was sent out, and Tyler has been like itching so hard to talk about college baseball, and he just wanted to finally find some time to do it. Like, it's been on the rundown literally for 3 weeks, so we're gonna do it. So Tyler's gonna do his thing with the college prospects at the end of this. First thing we have to talk about, this whole spring breakout roster being brought to you by Daily Controls, our one and only sponsor. Just the Daily Controls LLC is an industrial automation controls engineering company that is excited to provide and apply its 13 plus years of experience in the industrial automation and robotics industry. Services include PLC programming, HMI design, vision inspection systems. I wonder what HMI stands for. I don't know. Keith, Mr. Daly, let me know what that means. Robotics integration and programming, control panel design, fabrication, system integration, troubleshooting, and support. Basically, Daily Controls is dedicated to reducing downtime, improving quality, and increasing your output. If you push buttons aren't blinking or your robots aren't cooperating, trust Daily Controls to get your equipment running smoothly 24/7. Go to dailycontrolsllc.com or simply email him at info@dailycontrolsllc.com if you need any help. He will find you. He will travel to you. If you're in Hartford listening, call your boy, Mr. Daly, for your robotic needs. The spring breakout roster was announced. Not really surprised by many. Maybe one or two names on this list was kind of surprising. I'm just going to give the roster breakdown and we'll go from there. We're kind of going in this little unprepared, a little blind, but that makes it fun. So listen up. Our pitchers: Dollander, Sean Sullivan, Joe Rock, Carson Palmquist, Jack Mahoney, Jaden Hill, Zach Agnos, Angel Chiavelli, Isaiah Cope, Cade Denton, Seth Halverson, and Juan Mejia are your 12 pitchers going forward. The battery of the future, so to speak, Romo and Fulford, are your catchers. They are putting out 6 infielders in Adel Amador, Dion Jorge, Hunter Goodman, infielder. Notice that. Ryan Ritter, Warning Bernabel, and Karos. What is Karos' first name? I want to call him Eric.
Kyle.
It is Kyle.
Yeah, it is Eric. No.
I was just like, I don't know. And then your outfielders, loaded talent in the outfield: Raquel Fernandez, Jordan Beck, Sterling Thompson, Zach Fiend, Cole Carriage, and Benny Montgomery. So 2 things I just noticed as I was saying those out loud is Hunter Goodman is an infielder and Sterling Thompson is an outfielder. I don't know if that's necessarily how they have to use them, but I thought that was very interesting because neither one of them really have a permanent home, so to speak. But what kind of stood out to you when you saw this list for the first time this afternoon?
I mean, I think and this is going to be just me nerding out a little bit on a recent draftee. I got excited when I saw Isaiah Coupe as one of the pitchers in there. I would love to see him pitch in this game. I think that he has a real shot to break out. It's really cool, though, just seeing, they've got a rotation going in this thing. Dollander, Sullivan, Rock, Palmquist. Mahoney is someone who I know you've been kind of wanting to get him a little bit more attention, a little bit more hype. Some of the scouts are really high on him. He's ranking pretty highly in this recent Rockies top prospect list. So I like that rotation that they're running out there a lot. Of course, we know there's some guys that probably would have been there had they not gotten Tommy John surgery, but it's a loaded pitching group.
Yeah, I really love the pitching group, and I'm really excited about the potential to see Chase Dollander pitch. So, like, is this announcing meaning that he's actually going to pitch, or is it announcing that he's going to be in the roster and in the bullpen, but he's still working on whatever that the Rockies are working on with him? I think that's what I'm most excited about this. If you look at the list, according to MLB.com, all top 10 players are playing, and literally like 1 through 19, except for Robert Kalaz, who's 18 years old and is not playing on this like everybody else, and Gabe Hughes because of obvious reasons. So a lot of the big dogs are coming out here doing their thing for the squad, so to speak. It's exciting. I'm excited. Like it's cool. Like I love this idea. We talked about it a little bit in the future about what we could do differently with this. We're not going to nitpick yet because we haven't seen it happen, but like you have this starting rotation, like you said, like it would be sick to see them do a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks, or doing a pool play, so to speak, with like the NL West teams, seeing what we can do just to compete and have meaningful games in a safe way. Because I mean, it's a 7-inning game still. I think it starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday, the 16th. So it's still an exhibition, but it would be kind of cool if there could be like that all-star game feel to it, add in a little bit extra to it for some extra spice, as Tyler would say.
Yeah, I would. We're not going to see half the pitching staff, and that's kind of what's. It's funny that they announced this roster. It doesn't really have any like ultra significance. Like there's a lot of good prospects who didn't get included. I don't think that they were not included for like performance reasons. It was like we need a roster, and you know, some of these guys are pure relievers, and so they're on here. But yeah, it's kind of a funny concept in a way, though. This is probably that experimental run, see how it goes, check the ratings, how many people tuned in. And this is kind of crazy. I'm going to throw the idea out there. I don't think it would work for a couple reasons, you know, especially with it being spring training and these guys have to stay healthy. But what if we did something here, kind of like the NBA midseason tournament, where at the end, the winner, the whole team gets like a $500,000 bonus or something. And for those guys who are on 2-way contracts and, you know, rookies in the NBA, 500,000 is like, oh, whoa. Okay. All right. Like you've just given me a real nice actual bonus. What if for all the guys on the winning team, it was like 50,000 or something like that? Just give them some kind of bonus, because some of these guys did not get a huge signing bonus, and they are not going to make a lot of money playing in the minors for a couple seasons. So that could give it a little bit more flair, make these guys really, really work out there. But again, probably wouldn't work because this is supposed to be effectively another spring training game where guys are just kind of messing around with a couple things, making adjustments. It's not supposed to be that kind of serious thing, but right. It'd be super fun to actually get kind of a more competitive styled thing.
I'm going to one up you. What if the winning team got to take one person off the top 30 list on the other team? Like the winning team gets to steal one.
I mean,
that'd be insane. It'd be so much fun.
I would add like the most drama that has ever existed in Major League Baseball, and that team might lose their previous like first round pick or something like that.
Yeah, add for losing compensation picks. Yes, that would be fun.
And then maybe you'd have like a Black Sox incident where someone is like, I'm gonna this is my way to move to a new organization.
or it's like it's the in-season tournament, like you were saying, and then whoever wins gets Shohei Ohtani for 10 games. Any 10 games they want. They just take it from the Dodgers for any 10 games. That would be absolutely fun. Okay, so don't give me the lineup, but give me the starting defensive positions. Who's your starting catcher?
Romo.
Okay.
Gotta be Romo out there.
Let's just go around the infield. So who's your starting first baseman?
I mean, based on this roster, it's gotta be Goody.
Yeah, it's the only option, right? You can maybe put Peros over there. He'll play first and third, but his arm's too strong to be playing at first. Second base.
That's gotta I mean, there's options. They have 3 really solid middle infielders here. Seems like they made him say he's a second baseman in his intro video. So Adael Amador seems like just that's his new home, so to speak. And they have 2 other shortstops on the roster, so to just kind of jump along. I think Ryan Ritter gets to start at shortstop as the veteran of sorts. Dion Jorge,
the old head,
still kind of working into things. I was surprised to see him on the roster as well. So I think it'll go Amador, Ritter in that middle.
Yeah, and then you got to put Warbean. He's on the 40-man. You got to imagine he starts over there at third base.
Absolutely.
But Karros is, I think, next up in the third base thing. We talked a little bit about that, about our corner infield prospects a few pods ago, and the third base Third base is a little light over there. Outfielders, I'm going left to right. Beck, Benny in center, and then I'm gonna go Veen in right.
That's the hardest one. I guess we get a DH as well. So I'm gonna actually agree with you and say that Yankee Ellen at the DH spot. It'd be kind of and actually kind of an interesting thing about this roster is seeing Kokarig not listed as a catcher, and in his intro video, I don't know, probably the intro video means nothing, but he did not. He said he's a shortstop and a center fielder. He did not mention being a catcher.
Yeah,
it's not listed as one of his positions on here. Probably means nothing, but it's kind of interesting that he probably will get into this game as a center fielder after Benny Montgomery is. However they do this, maybe all these guys are going to sit on the bench for the whole game.
Yeah, you can imagine what 3.5 innings to at bats, and then they just do a whole squad switch. Like,
yeah, pretty much. That would make sense. Then you're actually like you have a reason for a roster.
Yeah.
The pitchers, on the other hand, I mean, I guess they'll probably do a 1 inning each kind of thing, and a few of them aren't going to get into the game, but.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Chase Dollander or Carson Palmquist just because Palmquist had that injury a few weeks ago. Small injury, but might still be rehabbing or figuring that out. Who gets the closing nod? So you have Zach Agnos, who led all minor leaguers in saves last year with a bunch. Cade Denton was the relief arm of the college season. Again, his kind of taste of the pros there. And then Self Halverson throws 100 miles an hour. And then you got Juan Mejia and Angel Chivilli, who both have saving experience. If it comes down to 3-2 game, I don't know who's the home team. I probably should know that. I don't know if it's been announced.
I don't know.
But if there's a save opportunity, who's getting it?
I'll go a 1A and a 1B, and I think they both might be outside the box. Not really. I'll go 1A is Jaden Hill. We've seen him build this hype. The one reason he might not is because he's soaked up a handful of these spring opportunities. And I think in spring training, really, you want to get your guys like 10 to 15 innings, especially the relievers. You don't want to overdo it. He's already like halfway to that. We're about halfway through spring training. So probably not a ton more innings for Jaden Hill this spring, but he seems like that guy that they might try and develop into a closer. He's the best arm on the list, the most explosive, of course. 1B, Angel Chivilli. Yeah. I think that he's kind of a sneaky guy. Him and Mejia are going to be linked for a long time, just added at the 40-man at the same time. People weren't sure if either of them were going to get added. I think Chivilli, big stuff, and there's pitchability there. So I think he gets that, potential to develop into a closing type of pitcher. I'm not sure that Mejia will get that opportunity just as he works through some command stuff. So Hill, Chivilli.
I think, yeah. You're right. I didn't even mention Hill. I'm going to go Zach Agnos, 1A, Cade Denton, 1B. Like, that's just what Cade Denton does. It just does what Cade Denton does. And, like, what's really cool about this is just friends of the pod being on this list. Like, Joe Rock, you got Zach Agnos. I forgot to mention that in the tweet. He was on for a little mini banter session at the beginning. Cade Denton sat with us for a little bit. Braxton Fulford, Hunter Goodman. Like, we know some of these guys that are playing in this and being highlighted and spotlighted, and that's just super dope. And I can't ever get past that and just can't take that for granted. So the spring breakout game is here. It's going to be here Saturday the 16th. And if you aren't doing anything at 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Mountain Time next Saturday, come hang out with us. Go find the YouTube. We are going to Manningcast-esque it. We're going to banter cast is what we're going to call it, where me, Tyler, for sure, possibly Noah is going to come on, and we're just going to banter while watching the game. I don't think legally we can put this game on the YouTube stream. Would be pretty dope, but maybe we can get maybe there's a StatCast thing we put up there, the game day up, but we'll be watching on our TVs, talking about it, giving some insider stuff that we have. I'm thinking about maybe asking some people to come on as guests. Obviously not any players because they might be playing or watching, but
let's get someone mic'd up.
Yeah, it would just be that'd be dope. Dude, Cade Denton, can I mic you up? If you're listening, Cade, or if somebody's connected to Cade, just ask him if he wants to be mic'd for the game. I don't know if anybody's gonna be mad about that.
Just don't ask anyone, just go out there.
Just do it. It's okay. Just call us, just FaceTime us, and just put us in your back pocket. That'd be dope. But it's going to be fun. It's not something we've ever done, so there's going to be some hiccups along the way while we try to figure it out. But this is what we love. This is what we want to do. This is the fun that we want to bring. So we're going to try to do a little bit different. So think Manning Cast, but without the football and without the production. It might just be us on the
Super Bowl rings. No Super Bowl rings.
No Super Bowl rings. I mean, yeah. I was going to say not yet, but there's absolutely no way I'm getting one. So, I'm a Lions fan. There's no way.
Future offensive coordinator over here.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Maybe I can teach my son something. So come hang out with us Saturday. We'll be live on the YouTube, probably on Twitter and Instagram live as well. But I think YouTube is worth the comments and stuff. It's going to be a good time. So holler at your boys there. And let's end this with a nice little 10-15 minute hitter of college baseball stuff. So we've been doing our part between Tyler and Luke, the new guy, Luke, writing some stuff. There's some things on BlakeStreetBanter.com. Go check it out. Just covering some of the bats to watch out for. You released something about 2 weeks ago that was pretty in depth, some highlighting thing. I'm going to put you on the spot, so I'm going to give you some time to look him up. But LeSavage, I want to talk about LeSavage out of East Carolina because that's my team this year. I'm leaning in. I've been trying to watch. It got rained out yesterday. But dude, man, went like 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 8 punchies the other day. Maybe, no, it was 11 punchies in six innings. Just insane numbers. I wasn't able to watch. I don't know what he brings to the table, but he's the guy I want you to start with first. So if you can give me something on him, and then I'm just going to kind of let you do you, and I will ask some questions to maybe highlight some of these guys. Go, Tyler.
Yeah, he is a little savage. Trey Yesavage out of East Carolina is crazy. Like, it's crazy good stuff. It almost makes you wish the Rockies weren't picking so high, so someone like him could be in play for that pick. I mean, he's a mid-90s right-hander. He's ticked up a little bit this year. He's averaging 94 on the year. He's getting 23.3 inches of induced vertical break. Like if you know about induced vertical break, think about it. It is the fastball, or any pitch fighting gravity. That's 23.3 inches that the pitch is not falling due to gravity because of the backspin on it.
That's so insane.
20 is crazy. You rarely see over 21. 23.3 is nuts. He's coming from a pretty high slot, so like it doesn't work to its fullest potential, I guess you would say. But that fastball has the potential to be just devastating. And his slider, fun little kind of small sample game here. 63 pitches on the season. Do you want to let's do an over under on the swing and miss percentage? Like for the number of swings, the percent that are misses. Just throw out a number. And
on 63 total pitches?
63 total pitches. I don't know how many swings.
Okay.
But of those swings, what percentage are
misses?
Yeah. Just throw out any.
He's been pretty lights out. He's probably given up. Let's go. He's swing and misses is at 42. 75%.
So the funny thing is, so saying 75%, you might think that's ridiculous, right? You're very close. 70.6% whiff rate on the slider.
That's insane.
Thus far this season. Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. And it's not gonna stay at that rate, but yeah, it's pretty insane. That pitch is gonna be one of the best in the draft. East Carolina just seems to always produce dudes like this. Like every 3 years, it's like a prophecy that every 3 years they're going to produce a dog. Like Gavin Williams, dude with Cleveland.
Yeah.
He is going to be in their MLB rotation this year. Really good. Think of Jeff Hoffman as kind of one of those other guys in recent years. And then Carson Wisenhunt, I almost forgot about him. He's in the Giants system, someone we all have to be familiar with, going to be a dude for the Giants. East Carolina is a pitching factory.
And it looks so much fun to be at a game there too. Like Zach Agnos, he's ECU.
Yeah, we need to ask him for kind of that inside scoop, what he sees on Yesavage. Like, it's nuts though. It's nuts, and yeah, I'm glad you started off there.
Yeah, I needed to. So who are some of the dogs? I mean, you got some dark horses. I mean, everybody's heard of Bazana. They've heard of Honeycutt. If you haven't, you can go read about it. Nick Kurtz, the dude Chase Burns, like is a dog. Like, I'm sure you got some things to talk about with them, but give us a few well-known names and a few sleeper guys. And if you can throw a rabbit out of your hat and give me a Nebraska cat, that'd be sick too. I guess they're fighting for Big Ten supremacy right now. Like they're really good right now, but we do that later. But give us some big dogs and some low dog, so to speak.
Yeah, and I'll let the our articles that we've posted, I'll let those kind of speak for themselves on a lot of the top guys. I know Luke covered some of those higher end guys a lot. I'm gonna have to hit on them again. You know, the main three, the big three going into this year was JJ Weatherholt, shortstop, second baseman out of West Virginia. Is supposed to play shortstop. He's dealing with a hamstring injury right now, so haven't seen him playing each weekend. He didn't play this past weekend, might not play this weekend, figuring some things out. He was my number one guy going into the season. We'll see how that, too early to really make big movements, especially at the very top. Travis Bazzana, number 2, just a dude, crazy compact build. Nick Kurtz, my third, super powerful hitter. This is where it gets fun. Charlie Condon.
Now, I keep seeing this man's name.
Yeah, if you have not seen the name at this point, I don't. You got to get on Twitter more. Don't get on Twitter more.
Don't do that.
Stay off Twitter. But Charlie Condon, let's do another kind of like Trey Yesovich without looking.
Okay.
Start us off with a number where you think his OPS might be. And we're talking, 13 games, not a big sample, not a tiny one either. So
is he a freshman or sophomore?
He's technically he's a redshirt sophomore. So. Okay. Third year in college, second year playing.
Okay. So OPS, we're obviously talking about him, plays in the SEC, 950.
What's actually pretty funny is I actually can't give that hint away. I'll say it after. Higher.
I mean, 1100.
One more guess higher.
1300.
All right, so we'll go back to the first guess. You said 950. That is very close to half of what his OPS is.
Half?
1855. He has 9 home runs in 13 games. A batting average of 531.
That's stupid.
We're seeing one of the kind of the best streaks that college baseball's seen in several years. Where, another guy in this draft class, Tommy White, when he was at NC State, a lot of us probably remember he hit like 9 home runs in the first week or something. Charlie Condon's doing something similar, and he's also kind of bringing everything else in the toolbox. Max exit velocity so far of 118. Excuse me. Zone whiff percentage. So zone contact rate is 91.5%. That's top tier. So his bat to ball skills are top tier. The chase percentage, 17.6%. That's very, very good as well. So he's not swinging at pitchers outside the zone. He is contacting almost everything that he does swing at. And the exit velocities are like some of the best in the country. We're seeing some crazy stuff, guys. This is truly crazy. This is a guy who maybe was a top 10 pick, top 7 pick coming into the season. Right now, there's no one who's done more to boost their draft stock than Charlie Condon.
And he plays
a name that Rockies fans have to get familiar with. He might be.
Is he number 3 or number
top target?
Is he?
He would have to be number 3
because we have the 3 spot in the 30 something spot.
30 something. It might be 38.
We'll get Mike on it real quick.
But yeah, Charlie Condon's going for sure in the top 10 of this draft, unless some kind of bombshell drops about his, some bad thing that he's done in life. But in terms of his talent and the way he's playing, he's a lock for the top 10. And at this point, again, he's working to appear inside the top 5 and maybe in that top 3.
So we have
pretty crazy. He actually started or I don't know if he started, but he played in center field yesterday too. So
yeah,
people thought maybe he was restricted defensively. He played center field.
No, he has 7 games at third base and 7 games in left and then 1 in center. Like, it's insane. We have the 33rd. No, I just had it. 38th pick and the 42nd pick right after that. So 38, 42.
So there's going to be some games to play with those other picks. In terms of some of these guys we're talking about, looking at some of the real jewels of this draft class, but we can hop into some of the more sleepers. Just to finish off that top tier, though, Vance Honeycutt, you said the name earlier, really talented center fielder. A guy that a lot of people are going to want to hear about is Jack Caglianone out of Florida, the Shohei Ohtani of college baseball, and he's living up to the hype. I don't know how much you've been able to see of him, but
I remember that name a lot from last year. I feel like I'm not hearing it as much though this year because he was a two-way player, right?
Yeah, he
Maybe
is
that's what it was.
two-way.
So, but I'm not hearing him as much this year, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I've also just seen a ton of Charlie Condon. Like, I think that might be just the only reason why.
Yeah, but we could. Yeah, let's run through the Caglianone numbers real quick. 1359 OPS so far, 5 homers, and a 3 ERA with 18 strikeouts in 9 innings. So
Jesus,
he's doing ridiculous stuff too. He's averaging 95.2 with his fastball. His slider is pretty wicked. He also is using a changeup really effectively this year. And then you turn to the bat. Said Charlie Condon's exit velocities are some of the best in the class. Caglianone's max is 121.7. He's capable of crushing the ball. He has 80 grade power, and he also has like a 70 grade fastball. So
just these players now that they can do. Like Ohtani is not going to be a unicorn very soon. Like what was it? Paul Skeen was playing center field the other day,
and he was. I'm surprised LSU didn't give him a chance to play a little bit there last year. Not center field necessarily, but just play. Paul Skeen could have done it.
It's just nuts. Just nuts.
So that's Shohei Ohtani of college baseball, and that's a guy that the Rockies might not be able to pass up on if he keeps playing like he is. I mean, I said just a couple minutes ago, I don't think I can really shift around the top of the draft board. It's too soon. I think Caglianone and Condon have to be 1 and 2. I don't know how to order them right now. They're playing absolutely ridiculous so far. And, I mean, some of these schools, they're scheduling decent non-conference games. Like, there's some easy ones in there, but, like, they're also playing some decent schools. So what we're seeing right now is, like, some next-level stuff, very rare. One of the best hitting performances and probably the best two-way performance we've seen in college baseball. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. I was watching LSU versus Southeastern Louisiana last night, and it was a fun game. It was competitive. LSU found a way with 2 outs in the 9th to get the win. But just college baseball is so much fun, and then you have these freak athletes that can do this and that, and I just wish I did know a little bit more about some of these players, some of these teams, and being able to do all that. But just listening to you say these numbers, just like, all right, I'm tuning into Georgia. I'm going to watch a Georgia game sometime soon, somehow.
Yeah, I haven't seen a game live yet, so that's something I have to do too. The goal is, I mean, we might have to do another Manning cast, banter cast.
That would be fun.
When Florida plays Georgia at some point, one of those games, we might have to do something like that. It's probably going to be the 2 of the top 5 picks in the draft, just duking it out. This is one of just the funner draft classes I've ever seen. I'm beyond stoked. So we finally fit this time in, and it, very necessary. We have there's so much to dig into. It's crazy.
Georgia's playing Northern Carolina this weekend, so
that is another against
Georgia.
Condon and Honeycutt. Those are 2 top. Honeycutt hasn't played quite as well as some of the
Northern Colorado, not Carolina.
Oh, Northern Colorado.
Yeah, UNC. Yeah, Colorado's going to Georgia.
Okay. I
was hoping it would be in Colorado. All right, I'm looking for this. Tennessee, Mississippi State. Do they play Florida? Vandy, South Carolina, Florida. They end the season with Florida, May 16th, 17th, and 18th.
That's okay. That'll be
right before the SEC tournament in May 21st. So they're gonna 2 powerhouses going head to head right before the tournament.
And that might be deciding the conference.
That might be it. Yeah.
Well, so Manning cast is coming. We'll have Super Bowl rings at that point.
Something, hopefully something. All right, then give me some dark horses. Like, give me your favorite out of the top 30, top 40 pick, maybe that we can maybe look at 38, 42, so to speak.
Yeah. So the one that has really stood out to me, and if I was running the show, he'd be well, the Rockies wouldn't take him at 3. It's a little too soon, but Carson Benj out of Oklahoma State he's a fun. How many times can I say fun player? He's two-way also. Another little two-way guy. He crushes the baseball. his, there's something to be said up. The max exit velocities can be a little skewed. His is 125, and I think that's the highest in college baseball. It was like a ground ball though, so there's some data skew there. Promise though, if anyone's hitting over 120, like it might be skewed, but it's also probably belonging to a guy who's really good. He hits the ball very hard, very far, doesn't swing and miss very much. Really good approach. The one kicker with him, and the reason that he might be in play with one of those second or third picks for the Rockies, he needs to work on his swing a little bit to elevate the baseball more. Really high ground ball rate doesn't allow him to use that power as much as he really should. And then you flip to the mound, and some teams aren't going to give him a chance to pitch. You want a guy to be the best player he can, and focusing on one skill is the way that some teams will think you can do that. But on the mound, he's averaging 93.6 with his fastball, and he has a pretty nasty curveball and changeup. Like,
that's insane.
This dude could be, I think with him, he's one of those where he could be a good reliever, and kind of like, we've seen like Mike Lorenzen, although Mike Lorenzen's one of the weirdest players we've ever seen of all time. But Carson Bench is someone who I think could be a starting outfielder, and then when you really, really need, give you a relief appearance. And that could be the new way that baseball is forming. It's hard to be a true two-way player starting on the mound and then playing in the lineup, like what Ohtani's doing and what Caglianone is going to be doing in the pros. That's rare and special, but having guys come in relief, and pitch 20, 30 innings a year and just kind of give a little bit of slack to your bullpen, that might be on the table. And I think that's kind of what Carson Bench could do. The upside with him is just so high.
Yeah. And he's a little guy too. Like, he's not very big in stature. 6'1", 180 right now listed.
Yeah. So he could add a fair amount more, just strength and power to his game on both sides of the ball. And that could leave him pretty dangerous.
Yeah. I like that. Anybody else you want to call out real quick, or we just save that for another time?
I mean, it's a little tricky. I guess I'll throw out a pitcher because I think everyone wants to really, hear about those pitchers. Other than, we talked about Trey Yesovich just started, and I really, really wish that he could be in play. But I kind of need to give a shout out to Hagen Smith just based on the outing that he had. That was getting national attention. I think he struck out 17 guys in 6 innings. There were a couple hits and stuff mixed in there, but one of the most dominant performances in a really, really long time. I think that just need to give some more attention to the rest of that Wake Forest rotation. We hear a lot about Chase Burns.
Mm-hmm.
He's their Saturday starter, basically their number 2. And I don't think that really has anything to do with the pure talent. But Wake Forest also has a Josh Hartle, who right now is, he comps kind of to sort of a Kyle Freeland. I wouldn't hold that comp to too much weight. But Hartle has been mid-90s, which is surprising. I didn't think that he was going to have that kind of velocity. And then has a deep arsenal. That's someone who's going to go pretty early, potentially in the mid-first round. I'd love to see his stock kind of, sit where the Rockies might be able to get him, but it doesn't really look like that's going to be the case. And then Michael Massey has been their Sunday starter, I believe, and he's the guy who's supposed to come in with the heat. And I almost think that they're switching the radar guns or something on these guys, because Massey was supposed to be the one throwing really hard. He's sitting 92 to 95 this season with 2 really good breaking balls. So those are 2 guys to kind of keep in mind. Looks like Massey might be more in the Rockies range, while Hartle is pushing for some top 15 consideration.
Just that talent at Wake Forest. It's a pitching lab. It's just insane what they can put out there. So college baseball is back. College baseball is fun. Go watch it. It's a blast. I almost went. It's 50 degrees, rainy, cold here. Almost went to a community college game here in town, just with my son after school. I was like, "You want to go? Let's go watch some baseball." Turned around because it was just too far away before I could do my other responsibilities. But like, just college baseball at any level, any place is fun. So if you are able to watch, ESPN Plus is loaded with baseball.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's on like all the time. Like, it's just, there's an afternoon game and you can watch until midnight. Like, Hawaii is going to be on when you go to bed if you need it. So tune into college baseball. Let Tyler know who's your dog, who are you watching, who's your favorite team, who's the dog on your team that you're watching, and let's just have some fun with that. And shoot, May 15th, May 19th, whatever, hold us accountable. Let's try to figure that out. Anything else? I think a nice little surprise spot for the people as we prepare and ramp up for next week with a bunch of banter sessions and a bunch of articles coming out for our prospect top 40.
Yeah, I mean, if you like this data that we just dropped, almost an overload. That's just kind of a sign of things to come. Have some more articles with a bunch of little data points. We will, our draft coverage is going to be crazy. It's going to be good regardless if you're a Rockies fan or not. But of course, we're not going to give you all the info on a bunch of random picks from other teams. But the Rockies picks, you're going to know everything about them. That's worth telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, nobody's really done it in the Rocky sphere as well as Tyler has. That's a Tyler baby. So make sure you're tuning in. We're going to be watching middle of June is that draft. So let's do cool stuff. And as always, go Rocks. Woo! Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.